thanking each one of the honourable members who have taken the floor, who have taken the trouble to study the bill, to comment on different aspects of our civil aviation system, safety issues, regulatory issues, Vande Bharat, Lifeline Udan, and a host of other issues. I'm deeply grateful to them. Sir, I am acutely conscious of the time limit you're giving me. But the discussion has been so rich, I'm going to try to respond to each of the points made by the honourable members. And if this chair so instructs, I am not able to complete that exercise, I will personally write to each member to place on record the factual position, because whilst I am heartened by the level of interest, I must say I am in several respects disappointed by the fact that the actual position obtaining today perhaps has been lost sight of in what invariably turns into a political discussion. But let me start by the Honourable Shri K.C. Venugopalji. He talked of several issues, privatization, to which I'll come to in a minute. He mentioned shortages of air traffic controllers. He talked about the number of air misses. Let me just say that on the issue of air traffic controllers, he was perhaps not aware of the fact that we have, in the last 3 years, recruited 1,000 air traffic controllers, and as against the required number of 3,500, we are very close to that number, and we would have reached that number, even surpassed it, if it had not been for the fact that the recruitment processes suffered some slowing down on account of the COVID pandemic. I think he spent a lot of time on the air misses. I'll be answering another honourable member, so I will cover that part of his questions there. On privatization, I would recommend to the honourable member to look at the issue of privatization in a historical context. The fact that 2 of our major airports were successfully privatized in the year 2006 under a previous political dispensation, and both those privatization processes actually have resulted in our being able to get the resources to develop the rest of the airport infrastructure in the country. In fact, when Shri Vivek Tankhaji mentioned the Civil Aviation Ministry's budget, I was trying to restrain myself, but I need to point out, because of the privatization of the Mumbai and Delhi airports, since the time of privatization in 2006, the Airports Authority has received a whopping 29,000 crores, and that money has been utilized in order to develop the airport infrastructure in other parts of the country. A lot is being made out about 6 airports, and so let me remind this House through you, sir, that Mumbai and Delhi, 2 privatized airports, privatized in the year 2006, account for 33% of our traffic and our earnings. These 6 airports, which were awarded in 2018, much before I became a civil aviation minister, together account for only 9%. I repeat, sir, 9%. Now, to talk in terms of 6 airports being given to one entity, let me just place this in perspective. When these 2 airports, Delhi and Mumbai, were privatized in 2006, all subsequent efforts at privatization contained a stipulation to the effect that prior experience was necessary. So we fell into a trap of our own making, and not by this government. And I don't want to make this a political point, that unless you had previous experience, which means unless you had done either Delhi or Mumbai, you could not participate in the process, which in effect meant that for 15 years, no competitive open bidding could take place. What happened when we did these 6 airport privatization biddings in November 2018? Bidders from all over the world came. If one entity got the 6 bids,
Please,
can I complete this? I didn't interrupt you.
Let him complete. Let him complete. No, please. Nothing will go on because please, Honorable Praful Patel.
Hello, Mr.
Let him speak, then you can.
Now,
He's not yielding.
I have not yet completed. I may say something that you might agree with.
He's not yielding. Please.
Yeah, can I? I am talking about
2004 bidding, before even our government came, Hyderabad and Bangalore bidding had been completed under the same parameters of the 2006 bidding which you are talking of Mumbai and Delhi.
Thank you, Honorable
President.
Please, no.
Honorable
Thank
Deputy
you,
Chairman,
please.
sir, I would like to take the answer each point, and I think if there is any residual issues, I'd be happily meet the honourable member and
no, please.
Can I complete this?
You please speak to the chair.
Let me explain. In fact, when the bids for these 6 airports were received, they were all in closed listing. When we went in for the bidding for Jewar Airport, this is interesting, neither the 2 successful bidders of 2006, those who had won Mumbai and Delhi, nor the entity which won these 6 could bid, because this process has been opened out and an entirely new entity came in. So I'm making the limited point that we are progressing from limited number of players, expanding, gaining by that experience, and then opening it out to global entities, which is what the experience of Jewar was. Now we come to the issue of privatization of one particular airport, which is generating a lot of excitement and heat, and perhaps not as much as I anticipated in the House today. This is the privatization of one particular airport in the state of Kerala.